Welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. We're going to have a look at the ADI 444 block lock. Now this lock's you can use on a number of different applications. It's basically just a big huge block of metal with a cylinder on one side and a pin that goes straight through it. Once you turn the key, the pin is locked in, it can't be removed. You can also lock the pin into the lock upside down so that then it can be left in the open position and you can't lose your pin. So it's a really cool lock, 3 holes, away you go, and it's installed. It's compatible with most restricteds that take the standard 570 cylinder. It's a brilliant lock because it's easy to install and it's extremely strong, and you can use it on just about anything. It's a pin lock. You push the pin in, you lock it in position, it's locked. Bolts on from the back, but you can get different formats of it where it bolts on through, and double-sided as well. But today we're just going to install the single-sided one on a garage door, and I'll take you through that and show you how that goes. Okay, so straight out of the pack, this is the lock here. Roughly they sell for about $100–120. They're not that expensive. You take it out of the pack. When you turn the key, it only turns like a quarter of a turn. You put the bolt in, you turn the key back, it's locked into position. Locking the bolt in position as well stops people from stealing your bolt. Also gives you somewhere to put the bolt during the day. The actual bolts that the lock is bolted on with do come with some caps, as you just saw there, those black caps. You can put them underneath the screws if you want. Generally I find sometimes in tough environments they kind of fall off, and if they do fall off, your customer's going to want you to come back and put them on. So I find a lot of the time they're not necessary. Here we're just putting it on an actual tilter door. So this is a standard garage tilter door, and it comes with a sticker template, as you can see there, actually on the door. These doors are not very good. They're made of sheet metal. It's more of a channel of sheet metal, so you got sheet metal in a U-shaped formation around like a bit of frame or structure, so they're not the best mounting position. But on saying that, the lock's great for garages, so unfortunately we got to work with what we got. The door's not very good, so you can still mount it. You can even get packers for this type of lock as well, so if you wanted to put a little bit more strength there on the front and back, you can do that. If you find the door crimps in too much, what you can actually do is come up with some some channels and put them between the two bits of sheet metal on the inside, so that way when you're tightening up the lock, the door doesn't squeeze. I like to use just a bit of 20mm conduit, and I cut it into about 1 inch segments, put it behind the first bit of sheet metal on the inside, and the back of the lock, and that stops it crimping up, because when you do tighten them up tight, they can squeeze and move around. As you see now, I've just basically drilled two holes here, probably I think they're like 10mm holes, 2 10mm holes, and it comes with an Allen key, so you simply just tighten it up onto the door. You can do all sorts of things like weld these on, put the caps on, or drill the Allen key head out if you wish, but most of the time it's not needed. So yeah, you put them on nice and tight. For this installation here, we're just going straight into the concrete, so we're going to be drilling with a nice masonry drill bit, battery DeWalt cordless, straight into the concrete. And here I'm just tightening them up super tight, so if anyone does try and rip that front skin and try and undo it with an Allen key and try and be tricky, they're going to need quite a bit of force to get those nuts moving. Now this actual bolt right here, it has a little nipple on the top, so you put it in the position, you put the key, which I'm doing now, you unlock it, let it slide straight through the lock, give it a tap with a hammer, and that little nipple will actually mark the ground. So now you've got your centering part where you want to drill. Unfortunate for us that we're actually trying to drill right on the edge of the concrete, so no matter what we're going to do now, we're not going to be able to drill a straight hole because we're actually on the edge of the concrete. So we can drill on a bit of an angle and hopefully try and bring it back. The lock itself penetrates maybe about 60–70mm into the concrete, so as long as we can get that bolt to go into the ground there, we shouldn't have too much trouble. A lot of the time I try and make the bolt holes just enough. I normally drill about a 16mm. On some doors I find it easy enough to just go up to 20mm for a number of different reasons. The first one is you don't really want a hole that's too tight, because if that pin doesn't go all the way down, you're not going to be able to lock that lock. The way the lock works is the pin has to go right to its home position, otherwise you can't turn and remove the key. So if all the dirt and things like that are falling into the hole over years, and all that build up and water or whatever goes into that hole, it can actually build up, and you're going to start to slowly by slowly not be able to turn your key and lock your lock. So you don't want that. So a bigger hole is often better. You can purchase this lock from our online lock shop, and once again, thanks for watching.